The next big threat in Boruto are gonna be the Otsutsukis, who are not actually Otsutsukis but evolved from a species that are consumed by those beings. I'm talking about the claw grimes, the warriors that have unlocked the Rinnegan and are already after the lives of their predators. So are they actually behind the cataclysm from the prologue scene? And if yes, then why was Kawaki portrayed as the culprit here? Let's find out. I always wondered how Kishimoto will take us from the present events, which mainly revolve around the Kama Trio conflict, also known as the Vortex of Fate, to the future destruction of Konoha. The main reason it was so difficult to make any guesses is because Kawaki, the Naruto worshipper, was shown to eliminate the system of shinobis for some unknown reasons. While Boruto was still determined to protect this system, Kawaki had even changed his mind on killing him. Rather, he wants to save him by sending him to a timeless realm. However, with the reveal of the second chapter, the puzzle pieces are finally coming together. Kishimoto has brought Otsutsuki level opponents to challenge Boruto and Kawaki, and how it will lead to the very first scene is pretty crazy. For starters, let's talk about the lizard Friezas who are on their way of reaching Otsutsukis in terms of troublesomeness. The claw grimes were born when Code used his claw marks to create minions from the juvenile Telltales in hopes of creating an obedient army. However, the main part that he missed was reminded to him by Boruto, the true horrors of Telltales and their bad history with the shinobi world. While I have already talked about Boruto going to the past to get this intel, what makes this theory even more plausible is this panel being a homage to this scene from Dragon Ball Z, where Future Trunks comes back in time to cut Frieza in half. Coincidence or not, but I think the series has been drawing elements from the Dragon Ball franchise in a very creative way. Firstly, Kishimoto revealed the relationship of Boruto and Sasuke had been inspired from Gohan and Piccolo. Secondly, Kawaki was seen with the full Dharma Wheel Eye, which couldn't be possible without high amounts of training, and surprisingly, he has his own timeless dimension, which might be similar to the time chamber of Z Fighters. And finally, Boruto has been portrayed as a time refugee or someone who has foreseen the future, cause he's acting like the time traveler swordsman from Dragon Ball Z. There might be some other Easter eggs from Dragon Ball that Kishimoto will soon imply to the plot, but before going there, let's go back to the claw grimes and their destiny. These Telltales fighters are slowly gaining consciousness and could even escape Code's hands very soon, and even Boruto mentioned their claw mark modification could trigger the worst possible future. But why is it like that at first place? How did the claw mark division make them the most fearsome species that humanity will ever face? The answer to this question lies in the 75th chapter of Boruto, where Amato says the claw marks of Code are a shinjutsu as well. We didn't see Ishiki using any such technique, which means this ability was unique to Shibai. So when Code used the power of an Otsutsuki god to divide the Telltales, there is a 100% chance of their DNA infusion as well. The Telltales is a species that are devoured by Otsutsukis for the sake of evolution. The fusion with the Otsutsuki DNA must have granted them free will as well as a sense of reality. The guy with the Rinnegan who attacked Kawaki identified him as an Otsutsuki, and a strong hatred was reflected in his actions. They are slowly becoming aware of the cruelty that Otsutsukis had been subjecting on them, and the reason Boruto is afraid of them is because of their ability to replicate themselves as well as the Otsutsuki powers that they shall be awakening. Some people even think these beings will evolve into Otsutsukis due to the infusion of Shibai's genes. If that would be the case, then Boruto and Kawaki will be having a hard time handling them. I even believe they can erase their chakra signature like Otsutsukis. That's why Sarada couldn't sense their attack. One thing is clear, that as they are getting more and more self-aware, Code will soon lose his control over them, making it a nightmare for him as well. When things would take such turn, we might be seeing the Kama Trio working together against the claw grimes. Subscribe if you wish to see something like that, and let's get to the most interesting part. There is one detail from this chapter that not only explains the time skip destruction, but also the genius plan of Kawaki that he will formulate in the upcoming chapters. We know these creatures hate the Otsutsuki race for obvious reasons, and so does Kawaki. The Grimes and Kawaki having common enemies could only mean one thing. The Red Kama Leader is being set up by Kishimoto to tame the entire Telltales battalion, which explains how he was able to pull up the time skip destruction. In this way, Kawaki would be snatching something from Code for a third time after Ishiki and Aida. Now the question remains, how exactly will he do it? If Code loses the control of his army, how possibly would Kawaki get his hands on them? The fact that they recognize him as an Otsutsuki makes it an even messed up situation, but it will somehow need to happen for the progression of the plot. The first option is the Talk no Jutsu, but it's not Naruto, and the plot would get way too repetitive in that manner. So let's move on to a mind-boggling yet plausible possibility. If you notice, Ishiki and Kawaki Kawaki possess the Dharma gun in opposite eyes. While Ishiki has it in his right eye, Kawaki has this dojutsu in his left eye, just like Shibai. So is this just a coincidence? I think not. Shibai also has the Jogan or Byakugan in his right eye, similar to Boruto, which means both the Kama wielders have one of his godly eyes. I mentioned the theory last time, discussing why Amado modifying Ishiki with Shibai's genes must have awakened his Dharma eye, simply because we didn't get to see the face of Ishiki in the flashbacks, and all of it was done by Kishimoto for story escalation. In a nutshell, both Boruto and Kawaki seem to possess an eye of the Otsutsuki god, and the claw grimes having the divine DNA in them must have made them bow down to the will of Kawaki. He could have used his dojutsu to manipulate the will of the claw grimes just because they inherit the same course of godly chakra. This makes a lot of sense for someone like Kawaki, whose goal is to take down an entire alien race who are way more powerful than him. He would obviously require a broken army to handle every Otsutsuki that he encounters, and this even explains their vortex of fate. Now the reason I think it's gonna be Boruto against the claw grimes and Kawaki also makes a lot of sense. Firstly, the reason for Boruto to know the horrors of Ten Tails must have something to do with the Karma, and here is why. Normally the Karma's true essence makes the vessel gain the millennium-long battle experience of the Otsutsuki. However, in Boruto's case, he could have even unlocked the memories of Momoshiki due to the fusion of their consciousness. In this way, he could take a look into the monster's past when he had encountered the Jubi from different planets. Maybe that's what he means by the horrors of Ten Tails. And since the lore of this species is being expanded, it would make sense for a twist like that. It would even unlock a new feat for Boruto, where he could just peek into the memories of Momoshiki to know more about the Otsutsuki clan. Secondly, if the Shibai eye theory turns out to be true, then I think Boruto with his Jogan is about to nullify the claw grimes of Kawaki. As both the dojutsu stem from the same deity, the Jogan has the plus point of being a naturally awakened Shinjutsu, unlike the Dharmagan. It would also explain why there are no Ten Tails minions in the prologue scene. Boruto has apparently already taken care of them. However, it's not out of question to befriend these beings if they actually become conscious of their existence. They are similar to the bijus that Hogoromo created by dividing the Ten Tails, just like how Kurama was filled with hatred at the beginning of the series, but soon turned a new leaf with the help of Naruto. Now if Boruto figures out the Otsutsuki hatred of this species, then chances are they would team up with him with the return of the Talk no Jutsu. The series could soon take a Ten Tails versus Otsutsuki's kind of turn. After the claw grimes would become intelligent enough to divide the Jubi at their own, they could become an unstoppable army thanks to their regeneration power, and the person who controls them would be hailed as the strongest universal warrior. It's safe to say that they could even reach the power levels of Boruto and Kawaki if they aren't stopped, and all this invasion arc could be a medium for Kishimoto to introduce the new Otsutsuki lore in the story. By expanding the backstory of Ten Tails, we will also get intel on some past Otsutsukis, most probably from the memories of Momoshiki, who might become a huge setup for the future. Remember the destroyed panels from their dimension? I believe the lore of the missing Otsutsuki shall be unveiled once the claw grimes will become intelligent enough to narrate their story. The Ten Tails must have witnessed the arrival of those beings even before Jigen found him, which means the mystery of the second missing Otsutsuki is about to get unveiled in the Two Blue Vortex very soon. Even the genre of this series hint at the same thing, and if you wanna know about the unreal karma transformation of Boruto, check out this video right now. I will see you next time.